I know it's been a long time coming, and not as fast as we anticipated, but it's getting done. And honestly, the timing couldn't be better. Our demand cycle was a little bit lighter in 24 than we anticipated, so moving this to start up in 26 is really ideal. But we're extremely excited to see the support from not just the U.S. federal government, but the state, the county, the city. I mean, there's tremendous support for what we're doing in Jamestown and being led by Lee. And so Electrovaya makes a very exciting battery product. This is probably the world's, and it's not saying this lightly, this is the world's best lithium-ion battery. It is the safest lithium-ion battery on the market. To date, it has had a perfect safety record in 30,000 battery systems. It is used heavily. I'm sure if you order things online, there's a good chance your products have been moved by a machine powered by Electrovaya batteries. Our longevity in terms of the cycle life of the technology is also best in the industry. And we're proud to see that we'll be making these cells and battery systems in Jamestown in the not too distant future. So with this funding from EXIM, which is the Export-Import Bank of the U.S., it really gets us going. They've essentially funded the entire capital and startup budget, or the commissioning of budget. Of course, Electrovaya is contributing as well. And we're really, really excited about what's going to take place there. So the reason we wanted to have this call is to get you all updated. I know there's a press release already, but if you had any specific questions for Lee or myself, we'd be happy to take them. And yes, so there's before we get to that, there is a slide deck on our website, which also gives some added information on the project in a few slides there.
When do you, Mark Geis here, I'm the CEO of the IDA, and I'm also the Deputy County Executive for Economic Development for Chautauqua County. Congratulations, really excited. Just wondering when you expected to sort of, start operations and start hiring and that kind of thing. Timeline.
So the main there's things already happening. So you probably haven't noticed, but there's been a fair bit of engineering efforts underway the last few months. We recently got our permits. We're issuing purchase orders yesterday, in fact, on additional engineering work, which is going to start. So there's a lot of background work happening right now. Then the equipment purchase orders will be going out over the next few weeks. Hiring is going to also start fairly soon. We anticipate the startup to happen in really two phases. At some point in the summer 25, we will start making some high voltage battery systems in Jamestown. And these are battery systems which we have customers for. For instance, we probably will start producing one of the packs that we're making for Toyota material handling in Jamestown. And also, we recently announced some projects with a Ray electrified locomotive group. Those packs may come out of Jamestown as well. And there are a few other applications. So I would say light pack assembly starting summer 2025. But the real big one is the cell module and then assembly, which will start early 2026. Before that happens, of course, key members will be hired to run that facility. And a lot of training efforts will take place both in Jamestown, Canada, and in Korea, where the bulk of the machinery will be produced.
Thank you.
So John Whitaker here with the Post Journal. Congratulations. We've been following, your guys' path on this for a few years now. If you could walk back to the very beginning when you made the announcement that you were going to undertake this project, what led you to Chautauqua County?
And there were a number of great factors, right? So we have we play the region plays a major role in our selection, and what we wanted was a place where we could find good people. That's ultimately the most important asset in any manufacturing site, and I think that gets understated by corporations in general. But myself, we've had an experience where we had a facility in a place, and this was in Europe, where it was very hard to find good people, and that facility suffered as a result. So that was a key selection criteria. Jamestown has a history of manufacturing. The fact we worked with, we spoke with Heidenheim quite a bit, who was the previous owner of this facility, about the people that they had working there. And while they shut that facility down, I think they gave Electrovaya a particularly uh, good deal and worked with us because we were going to bring jobs back, because we were going to manufacture in Jamestown. So that was a key factor. Other factors as well. As you may know, Electrovaya supplies Raymond Corporation, who's another New York State manufacturer in Green, New York, which is, of course, quite far away, but still in the same state. And we're also supplying Toyota Material Handling with their plant in Indiana. And of course, we have our existing operations in Ontario. So the proximity between everyone is relatively close. And so that was another factor. And then there were two more key factors. One was the fact that we could get relatively low cost electricity. Making lithium-ion batteries uses massive amounts of energy, and having that both being renewable and relatively low cost worked in our favor. And the last was, we had seen good support from New York State. We have had previous working relationships with NYSERDA, so it made sense to locate in New York. Probably, if you just looked at it on an incentive basis alone, we probably would have been able to have um, maybe more lucrative offers elsewhere, but I think we made the correct decision, and we're very proud to be Jamestown residents.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think that just if I could add one thing to that, this building is about as turnkey as you can get for what we're going to be producing, these high voltage batteries. As everyone knows, Heidenhain and MD Electronics were both, of course, electronics manufacturers. So again, the building is going to take very, very little renovations um, to make it work for what we want it to be. So I think that the building, of course, had a lot to do with it as well, or something to do with it.
Lee, you're totally correct. I forgot about the building. The building was a big factor as well.
Yeah.
If we were to build that facility as a greenfield, first of all, it would have taken much longer,
Yeah.
and second of all, cost would have cost a lot more, and that really has also been a key factor.
Yeah.
And then we've been able to hire folks like Lee. I mean, finding someone like Lee is not easy, and we've seen enthusiastic additional people wanting to join us. So it's been really good. We get a lot of questions from our customers. They've often struggled to find good personnel, and I think we will not have the same level of
Mhm.
difficulties.
Yeah, it's out of the 24 years of my career, I've worked in Jamestown for probably close to 18 18 of those years. So I have a lot of great contacts. As Raj said, I've had people reach out to me asking, if we're going to be hiring, when we're going to be hiring. Not only people that I've worked with at other facilities, but a lot of people that have worked in this building. This building meant a lot to those people that lost their jobs when MD and Heidenhain closed. So for me, for Electrovaya, I think it's very important not only to bring those jobs back to Chautauqua County and Jamestown, but bring those folks that lost their jobs and formerly worked in this building back to the building. I know that first time that I walked in the building after being away for 6 years, that feeling that I got. So we're definitely hoping to bring that back to folks that were in the same position I was 6, 7 years ago.
But Lee's looking forward to being not the only person in the building soon. So.
Yeah, it's my dog visits every once in a while, but yeah, that'll definitely be a welcoming sight.
If I could, Raj, County Executive Wendell, yeah, we're really excited about you and making the opportunity here for Jamestown. Talking to Jason and Lee when we first took a tour not so long ago, the bonus I have, and Mark can tell you, and was once criticized, but I do get to be the county's biggest cheerleader, and I've really been excited about sharing your technology. As we've talked about the ceramic like bearings or beads you put in there to create that safety barrier. One of the discussions we had was reaching out to federal representatives and looking to improve that. We have had conversations with Congressman Langworthy. He has legislation now to focus on UL certification for electric bicycles. So obviously, electric bicycle probably has maybe one cell, or I'm not sure exactly, a small fraction of what you have. And they're talking about fires, and I've learned, as Jason explained it, those thermal runaways, and the need for the safety in, I think one of the references he had was, losing an entire warehouse because of one of these thermal runaways and another manufactured battery that, kind of caused this catastrophic event. If we could prevent that, so as I've explained to them, I said, if you're concerned about a bicycle with a 1-cell battery, imagine 30 cells and 20 bicycles or 20 machines that could devastate an entire warehouse. So the increased safety that you provide is second to none. And it's something that really, getting that certification, requiring heavy lift trucks to be UL certified in your batteries and exposing you guys to, a significant market share, if you will, going forward. It's really exciting. I think, talking to technology, we had a local manufacturer that's been, has now have a ceramic component in their production. So whatever we can do to share your story, I'm all about it. We'd like to get that information out there and also to be, really the proprietary manufacturer in North America. I should take it back, not North America, but the United States with your technology, since you're already in Canada. But whatever I can do to kind of spread that message and help you all, that's what we're about, myself and Mark and Jason, with our IDA. Really, that's our mission, is to, once you're here, how can we sell you as much as we can and really kind of grow? I love it if in 2 to 5 years you're coming back and say, hey, we need to expand, all the better. That's really what's going to be key. But the exciting news is what that technology, as it was explained to me, and just the increased safety that you all have is just really exciting news to share. Really excited about you.
Thanks so much. I'd like to, say the support from the community, even the local press, all of you has been exemplary. It's been better. We don't see that up here. We see, and it's something we take note of. So we really, had a good conversation with Congressman Langworthy yesterday. Very, very supportive, very approachable individual. Really enjoyed speaking with him. And the ceramics that you mentioned, this technology, I don't think people know about it enough. And they don't think about the safety of batteries until it's caught fire. Even big customers, I'm not going to name the customer, but one customer of ours we know had an entire multi-billion-dollar warehouse burned down, and because of a battery fire. So the getting that awareness out from UL or from other means is definitely something we want to support, most definitely. One thing, growing up, we used to, most of my family actually lives in Maryland. And so we used to go there every holiday and drive through Corning, which is the center of glass. And we want Corning glass, great technology, great company. And, I think Jamestown can be eventually that. Electrovaya is about ceramic technologies, and we can eventually hopefully make it a hub of ceramics.
Excellent. Great news.
Is there any other questions for Raj or myself or even Jason?
Yes. Yes, actually, this is Katie Anderson. I'm a reporter with Buffalo Business First. Thank you for hosting this update. It's very much appreciated. Um, I wanted to see if you could talk a little bit more about the building. You touched on this a little bit, and kind of the opportunity with this building and maybe not needing as much work as maybe another location would. Can you tell us kind of where the building is at right now? What still needs to be done, and how you plan on kind of outfitting this for, your production lines.
Yeah, I can. So as Raj mentioned, over the past few months, we've had some some engineering studies, engineering work happening. We will be doing some more engineering work on the building. And engineering, when I say engineering work, making sure that our HVAC systems are correct for the equipment that we're bringing in, making sure that we have the right piping, the right ventilation, things of that nature. So that part of the engineering study will be starting here in the next probably couple of weeks, if not sooner. Once that is done, that information, that study will tell us, hey, you need to move this HVAC system, you need to move these pipes, you need to move this ventilation. We don't expect a lot to have to be changed. And if anything does need to be changed, it's going to be very minor, no major construction. We do know that we have some interior walls because we will be putting in a dry room. We have some interior walls that are not load bearing that'll have to come down to make room for that dry room. Again, very minor construction, no major construction. We don't have to, put any additions on. We don't have to move any weight bearing walls. We don't have to down to the flooring. So the flooring is already ESD controlled. It's ESD painted. So we don't have to make any changes to the flooring. It's very minor construction that will have to take place, and again, nothing major, but we expect that to be done hopefully, before the clean room comes in, sometime mid next year.
And if I could add to that, the building itself is located in the town of Ellicott, in the Mason Industrial Park. And it was built, what, in the 80s or 90s, maybe? It's not that old.
Yeah, mid 80s, and it went through
Yep.
3 different phases of additions. It was mid 90s and then early 2000s.
And it's served by the BPU, the Board of Public Utilities for the city of Jamestown. So, it's got all the utilities there. Nice spot. And room to expand, I might add. It's a fairly large, 30 or 40 acres, I want to say.
Yeah. So we actually have 52 acres, 52 total acres, with 137,000 square feet of production space now. So as Mark said, we have a lot of room to grow, hopefully in the next couple of years.
Yeah, we've already done some preliminary studies on how to expand this facility to get to maybe 1 to 2 gigawatt hours in manufacturing capacity. But Electrovaya is a conservative company. We're not of the mentality of build it and hope they come, which if you read the news, there have been many battery companies, especially ones with the word volt at the end, who have built battery plants without customers, and they're just sitting idle. So we have offtake, we have customers. We expect, I wholly expect just by having this facility up and running, it's going to drive more business for us. Just because it's such an exciting product, it will be made domestically. I don't want to get into geopolitics, but it's so complicated and unpredictable. People want to buy locally made products. So
actually that kind of leads into something that I've been curious about following your conference calls over the past couple of years. Does New York State, with some of its, kind of buy New York requirements, does that open up some things or some market for a company like Electrovaya as you get into different applications for your batteries? Or I guess in the US, I know you have the plant that I think was North Dakota, but how do some of those political things maybe play into your growth?
it certainly could. We haven't, for the most part, going back to this conservative mentality, we've somewhat shied away from applications which need government support in order for them to work. Because you never know, someone else might get elected and they'll shelve that, which is precisely what's happening, right? So we are in applications which are mission critical, which really want to use our technology for based on performance as the primary winning criteria. So I think that sentiment is going to continue. That said, having New York State with maybe made in the state requirements, we'll certainly look into that and see if that helps us. Some applications which we're quite excited about, we've been shipping, I would say, relatively small amounts of batteries for a number of defense contractors, mostly for their evaluation at this stage. One of them is going to the next level, but having that domestic production is critical. And I think for that space in particular, that this will open some doors. But we'll definitely keep our eyes out for opportunities.
Thanks. Thank you again.
Yeah. Any other questions? I have to apologize. I've only got the 40-minute version of Zoom, so just in case it drops, we do have 8 minutes left. But any other questions for Roger, myself?
Hey, Lee, Rich,
Yeah, Terry,
I just wanted you to know that when this press release does hit, we will be getting calls and I'll direct them to you, okay?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I think you have my number, so absolutely.
Okay. All good.
This is Katie Anderson with Buffalo Business First again. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the applications for your product? I think last time we spoke, it might have been Jason that I spoke with. We were talking about batteries for the EV market and fleet applications. Is that still a part of the plan here, or are you kind of moving more towards defense markets? And then also, I wanted to ask about how many jobs you see once you reach capacity and what your timeline is for reaching capacity.
So on your first question on the current applications, the largest application for us is in the warehousing market. So these are whether they're forklifts or robots that operate in warehouses with major Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies. That's our bread and butter today. And we're powering over 200 warehouses, mostly in the US, but also in Australia, Canada, South America, and elsewhere. And these operations are picking our technology because of that safety benefit. Operating batteries indoors 24 hours a day poses a risk, and they really appreciate the improved safety, but also that longevity. If you go into an Amazon distribution center after Black Friday, those vehicles are never stop, right? So same with many retailers. So that's our bread and butter, and continues to be area we see substantial growth over the coming years. But we're also getting into other additional applications which have common attributes, commonly look for that safety and longevity benefit. That's where defense comes in. That's where we're seeing. We recently signed our first Japanese OEM for construction vehicles. So in fact, we will be shipping batteries from Jamestown to Japan. That's an unusual direction for lithium-ion batteries, and that we're really proud to see that happen. So construction vehicles, mining is another area we're quite excited about. These are similar to warehouses. These vehicles operate extensively 24 hours a day. They're just bigger. And instead of moving boxes, they're moving rocks, right? So these are the types of applications we like that can take advantage of our technology. Not to say we're ruling out trucks and buses. We definitely have some potential business there, which we're working on. So it's a wide variety of applications. One application we're sort of shying away from, though, is passenger vehicles. Passenger vehicles, they're very focused on lower cost lithium-ion solutions, which we tend to focus on more the high performance applications.
Thank you. And then the plan for reaching capacity, is that 2026?
Oh, yes. So I would imagine it is in the year 2026 for sure. It'll be a ramp up. It won't be from day one. But we believe we have the demand to move this to 3 shifts. So you will, and that would be around that 250 number.
Okay. And then, sorry, one more question. Can you speak at all to the timeline leading up to today? One of the last articles that I wrote about, after the announcement was initially made was in 2022, like so almost 2 years ago. Can you speak at all to, what kind of held up some of this? Was it funding, or can you tell me a little bit about kind of everything that's happened with this project leading up to today?
Oh, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, which can't go into all the gory details, but we a lot of it was funding. We pursued a different path initially with a different government lender, and we got to we were at the legal term sheet stage, and then we found the financing would have been extremely unfavorable for the operation. And so we decided to drop that and start working with XM, which really kicked off around about 12 months ago. And XM was terrific to work with. They had a new program, which is this Make More in America program, of which we're the 5th company to receive approval for. And it has worked out very nicely. I'm pleased to say we did not pursue the first opportunity there, and XM is a really terrific group to work with.
Sorry, Raj, real quick, if I could we've got about 2.5 minutes left. And again, I apologize for the only having the 40-minute version. If your question doesn't get answered before we end, please feel free to reach out to myself or Raj. Sir, any further questions?
Jerry Frank at Media One.
Actually, Jason, why don't you send another in like
I can do it.
I had the wrong version of Zoom, but if everyone wants to have another call, we can just
If
Jason.
you want, Raj, we could just jump right back on. You can just use the same link. If it ends, you can just use that same link and jump back on if you want.
Okay. Although I think we're more or less done, but
There, we got about a minute and a half left. Did anyone else have anything?
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah, thank you, Rich. Thank you very much.